Good morning, it's Ian Koniak. In today's video, we're going to talk about the differences between transactional and strategic selling. And in order for you to really crush it, if you're in a large strategic type of organization where you're selling big deals, or if you're selling to large enterprises, you need to understand the difference and you need to know what the skills are that you need to be successful. So we're going to talk about the differences in the types of sales environments and the skills, and we're also going to talk about what you specifically can work on, because if you're just grinding and working hard and you bring that to large enterprise, a lot of times you may not be getting the results that you're used to. You may not be getting, the level of success that you've had, because hard working doesn't work when selling large strategic deals. Of course, you have to be a hard worker by nature to be successful anywhere, but there's a lot more than just working hard. So listen up, let's dive in. So the first difference is the actual volume of deals, okay? So in a transactional environment, okay, you have a greater number of deals. You're actually dealing with maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 deals you can close per month. It's run rate, they're smaller in size. Whereas strategic, there's fewer deals, okay? Fewer number of deals. The second difference is the deal size is actually significantly lower in transactional versus in strategic. It's a much bigger deal size. So very fewer deals, but much larger in size with strategic versus transactional. You're basically selling a much higher volume, but they're smaller deals, okay? The next difference is the audience that you're selling to. Typically in transactional, you're usually at the department level, okay? Or the managerial level, where in strategic, typically you are almost always working or engaged directly at the executive level. If you're selling 7 or 8 figure deals, you have somebody in the C-suite involved, typically the COO, the CIO, CFO, a lot of times all of them for large deals. So you need to be selling and working at the executive level. The next difference is with transactional, okay? The actual deal sizes typically, when I say transactional, it might be, anything under, I would say 20 to like 200K. And then it gets a lot more strategic and larger, over 200K, depending on your organization. In some organizations, it might be over 7 figures, but when you're spending several $100,000, typically you're in this kind of strategic realm for a lot of companies where you got to get a lot more people involved to get approval, okay? So that's the fourth difference, is the number of decision makers. With transactional, it's fewer decision makers, okay? And with strategic, there's higher number of decision makers. There's more decision makers in these larger deals. Sometimes there's 5, 10, 15 people. I've presented with 20 plus VPs before in large deals. The next difference is the impact, okay? The transactional deals, generally there's a lower impact of what you're selling, okay? It's not make or break if they're not successful. Where the strategic deals, you're solving a major problem, or you're helping them achieve a very, very highly desired outcome, which could impact millions, tens of millions, or hundreds of millions of dollars if they're successful with this. So it's greater impact, okay? And then finally, people that succeed in transactional selling, oftentimes these are the hard workers, these are the grinders. They can outwork everyone, they show up, they do a lot of prospecting, they're dealing with a lot of rejection, they're just going, won't take no for an answer. That does really well in transactional. But in strategic, that type of approach can be seen as pushy, can be seen as overly aggressive. And so, to be more strategic, right? It's not a matter of working hard and showing up and just grinding it out, although there certainly is a lot of grinding in strategic deals. It's more about being patient, okay? And deliberate with everything you do, okay? Very direct, very patient, because you're dealing with executives and you don't want to piss people off. You want to make sure that you're viewed as a trusted advisor, okay? So the grinders are here in transactional, they show up, they sell, and they're gone. Whereas with strategic, you're in these situations for the long term. You're there for sometimes, I had my accounts 3, 4, 5 years sometimes. So you really become a trusted advisor for these accounts. So the skills that are needed to be successful are not the skills which are in requirement for transactional selling. The skills that you need, you have to be a good quarterback. They're leadership skills. You have to be able to bring an internal team and sell as a team and find the right resources. You have to be able to be fearless and bold and courageous, to be able to go to senior executives with a point of view that challenges how they're thinking about things today. You have to be extremely organized and disciplined. And ultimately, you have to be very strategic. That's why they call it strategic selling, in terms of the vision you have for an organization, the team you bring in, the problems you solve, the approach that you take. And the challenge that most people have is when they're promoted from transactional to strategic, they don't know these skills. And a lot of times their managers don't know them either, or their managers are too busy to train, coach, and develop them. They were promoted because they did well at mid-market, or they were promoted because they had results, but they get here and it's a whole different ball game. And so for anyone who this video resonates with, where they've been a hard worker, but now they're hitting a wall and they don't know where to go next. You may not have the support from your company or your manager to sell strategically. I have a coaching platform that I just launched, and it really is aimed to help people transition from transactional selling to strategic selling. The platform enrollment goes now through May 16th, after which time I will turn it off, and I'm not turning it on for another 6 months, at least, maybe longer. I'm capping enrollment at 100 people. So if you do want to check out the program and join it, I highly recommend it. I can help you make this transition so you can perform at the level which strategic selling requires, because what got you here to this point is not what is going to get you to that next level. So I'd love it if you can check out my program. I'll put a link in the comments below, and I can't wait to see you guys when classes start the week of May 16th. Take care.